Hey guys, so this one was a long-awaited journey. Anyone who knows me knows that besides living in Paris, Vienna is the only other place I have ever wanted to live in my entire life. There's just something that calls me to Austria. It seems like it's the perfect balance of city and nature, but Vienna specifically really calls me and has a place in my heart. And it's funny because before going there, I already had this feeling. I already knew that it was a place that I felt I could call home. And after going there, I definitely solidified that feeling. Vienna ended up being everything I wanted and more. And I've had the opportunity to go multiple times since this trip, and every single time it just feels even more right. So my first day there, I was walking around certain areas, just checking out shops and really getting my bearings, and it was super awesome. There were so many vintage shops and little local designers that we found, but we ended up ending our day one of the two best places to see the whole city and watch the sunset. This one here is on top of an Ikea building and it's an amazing place to see the sunset and really get to see a whole view of Vienna. The other place is a rooftop bar that I haven't gone to yet, but plan to. And it's a pretty famous spot that people have probably seen a lot of photos if they've ever looked at photos on Google of Vienna. So the next day we ended up going to the main shopping street. Forgive me for my pronunciation. I'm trying to learn German and plan on eventually being able to speak German and French as fluently as possible. But the shopping street is called Mariahilfer Straße, and it's a pretty cool place. This church is actually on the same street, and it's absolutely a place you gotta check out if you go there. I think since being in Europe and moving to Europe that I have been in more cathedrals than possibly any other building, restaurant, you name it. And the reason why is they're just absolutely stunning. They're nothing like back home in North America, although there are some pretty cool ones in places like New York City. But anyway, the architecture, the stained glass, every little detail that goes into these cathedrals is just incredible. It's so cool. I feel like wherever you go, it's like you can go to a free art museum wherever there's a cathedral. Another really cool thing that I just absolutely adore about most places in Europe is that almost no matter where you go, you'll walk upon some statues, find some sort of historic site or building, and end up learning something about history that you may have never known before. Vienna is also the city of music, so be prepared to walk around and find all sorts of street performers and hear classical music everywhere. There's also really good nightlife in the city. There's cool bars everywhere. I have yet to explore all of the fun places that there is to go in Vienna at night, but I'm sure there's endless amounts. You also have to check out a traditional Viennese cafe when you end up in Vienna. We really liked this one. I realize I keep mentioning we. I'm talking about me and my partner. He's actually living in Vienna right now, and I'm living in Paris. He's actually attending the school I originally applied for my bachelor's, but thanks to COVID, I ended up going to a equally good university in Toronto, and now doing my exchange year in Paris, but I plan on going to that university in Vienna for my master's, so. A couple of the buildings that I have seen in Vienna are one of the only other places in the world, besides maybe the Grand Canyon, that have literally left me in awe. So this is the Schmetterling House. It is the biggest butterfly conservatory and botanical gardens that I have ever seen. This is also a popular place for people to get their wedding pictures done, and while we were there, we saw a wedding party doing just that. So this is the biggest art museum in Vienna, and probably one of my favorite places. I've seen this museum in many movies before, but probably the most popular is the Before Sunrise movie trilogy, which is one of my favorites, by the way. And one of the cool things we did my first time there was, since we love the movies so much, we went to all of the movie scene places from the first movie, and I will be putting together a video about that to come, but it was really romantic.
supermarket ever.
So this is St. Stephen's Cathedral, and this has to be my favorite building in all of Vienna, maybe anywhere. This is the building I was talking about that just absolutely had me in awe. I feel like I can stare at it for hours. The detail is incredible. This by far has to be one of the best cafes in Vienna. This is called Cafe Central, and it is a long-standing venue for Viennese cuisine, but more so has a very famous history linked to some very famous people, including Freud and Trotsky, but also some more controversial politicians. And it is rumored that a lot of political decisions were made within these walls during the Second World War. But between the live piano music, the beautiful pastries and cakes, the amazing food, and the amazing atmosphere, this was by far one of my favorite places and a must-see if you're traveling to this beautiful city. Well, I hope you've enjoyed adventuring around Vienna with me, and if you liked coming on my travels with me, stay tuned for more.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below.